All right, let's take a look at PMC-53. This is a swirly, floral, pretty daisy plate. A couple of butterflies, dragonflies, some cute little clouds. Really pretty plate, looks gorgeous on a mani. So take a look at our clear spec here, give us an idea what we're gonna do. Really great tool for helping you plan your mani, just so you can see size, placement, a little bit of color options on here just to get you started. But super handy little tool. So what are we working over today? I've got a bunch of KoKo&Claire colors on here. I've got Uber Beach, number 138. I've got Offshore, number 141. And Passionate Peaches, number 41. So what I did was I put a coat down of each of the colors, and then Uber Beach, these ones each have 2 coats, and then I took and put a coat over top of each of the colors just to make them a little bit more subtle. So it gives a really pretty icy look almost. This would make a great winter mani, some snowflakes. But that is a mani for another day. This one's gonna be floral. And I wanna start with this really pretty swirly flower right here. It's gonna make a bit of room. And let's put it on this gorgeous blue pinky nail. I'm going to use number 86, Berry Slushy, I believe is the name of this one. I'm trying to remember the names. There's a lot of polishes now, guys. I have a really hard time with the names. And then all of the KoKo&Claire too. It's a lot. Okay, so that's the main part of the flower. And am I loving that pickup? You know what? We've got a few little air bubbles over on the side over here, but I'm not gonna worry about that because my outline's gonna cover that. So let's just go with it. Okay, so keep in mind the size of that whole image when you're placing your first image. I'm gonna go up a little high so I can make sure that I get all of the swirls and pretty things on there. Okay. Now, the next part of this image is this little guy right here. It's some details. There's our little center, and then here's the leaves. So let's do this next. And what color do we want to do that? Let's do it, you know what I want is like negligee here, this sheer white. Don't want it, I want to create a highlight or another color in the flower, but I don't want it to be too stark. So that's something I really love about the negligee, the number 93, is it's a bit sheer. So it allows whatever's underneath to still come through a little. You'll notice I scrape and immediately pick up right behind it. That way I get every single little detail without fail. You know what? Let me zoom in a little bit here so you can see placement better. And then just like a highlight, I'm going to go kind of off to the side just a little bit. Ooh, I love that. And I like the way the base color is still allowed to shine through a little bit. Okay, let's grab 193 butternut squash. It's one of the brand new polishes. Love this golden kind of yellow. Pardon me. Perfect for their center. Now let's see if that's gonna lift because there's a little bit of polish there. Might have made that tricky. No, we got away with it. And there's our center. Now let's see if we're even gonna see it. Right, there's a little void right there. Well, maybe in the close-ups we'll see it. All right, so next color I want to put on here is actually our outline. And I'm gonna go with a gold. I love the Bring on the bubbly. I often use it as an outline. Just really, I don't know, a little bit sparkly and makes for an interesting outline. Softer look. You could go black and make it a little bit more bold. I'm kind of going for the soft and pretty at the moment. Too soft. Where can I put this so you can see it? That swirl on the left, over here. Yeah, not loving it. Let's go again. Oh, I need a sticky pad out here. Need a sticky pad. Okay, so clean that off. Make sure it's dry. It's really important to make sure after you've cleaned off your plate, if you're going to use it the way I am right now, immediately, that you make sure that that polish remover or plate cleaner, whatever you're using, is dry. If you leave a little bit of that pooling in the grooves for the images, it'll affect the polish, which makes sense. Blend with it a little bit, you won't get a nice lift. Okay, I'm gonna follow right behind. Much better. And I'm gonna use my sticky pad because it looks like there's a fuzz on there too. The sticky pad will grab that off. Hopefully, most of it anyway. Okay, that's a much better lift. I like that a lot better. So take your time. Just make teeny tiny little adjustments as I'm getting closer to the image. So I can outline that flower as best as possible. It doesn't always have to be perfect. In fact, it's rarely perfect. Okay, so you might have noticed that I did not do the little leaves first. Because these images are layered, just the way we laid them out. The leaves are going to be a little bit trickier to get in line with your base color of your flower. So I'm just going to pop them in afterwards. And let's use green olive. I love this color. I love that olivey green. This one's looking a little thick. Let's see how our lift is. And you open up the polish and it does that stringy thing. Your polish might be getting too thick, which will affect how it lifts. So let's see how we do. Can always grab the thinner and do something about it. I'm gonna follow right behind. Oh, we got away with it. Getting away with all sorts of things today. Okay, so now, oh, this guy's doing something weird. Got a little lifty bit here. Hold on, there we go. There we go. Okay, now we'll be able to get in here and put these in the right spots. So again, take your time. I'm working over a tack-free top coat because I top coated these gel polishes, which gives you a little bit more leeway with your time. The tack-free top coat almost works like a magnet that pulls the image off your stamper. It's really great for when you're learning. Okay, I see what's happened here. We lost our swirl. We lost our great big beautiful swirl. What the heck? Okay. I have a trick for that. So wondering what that piece was that I was pulling off. Paying attention, but not paying attention. Okay, so let's try this. Oh, I love teachable moments. Let's try this. So this is the guy we lost. And we love him, so we don't want to lose him. So I'm going to come in with my polish and right up to that line. I'm avoiding that other line because I don't want to have to try and separate that after I lift. It'd be super tricky. And now I'm going to scrape that way, away from that line. Ah, dang. Okay, just about got it. I was too light on my lift. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Let's do it one more time here. So we don't have to start all the way over. You do a whole bunch of stamps like that, 3 or 4 stamps, and you're like, I'm not starting over. Especially if you're a nail tech and you're working on a client. So do this right in behind. We'll lift up that swirl all by himself. And clean off the little extra bits. Okay, it's not going to work with the side of my scraper. So I'm going to grab my sticky pad and use just the edge. Probably don't need to be this picky about cleaning it up because those other bits are still there, so you can literally just lay it over top. But okay, now we're gonna put this guy in solo. I'll go right above that little leaf. Come on. Okay, press, hold. It didn't stick there before, so maybe it's gonna fight back, but I'm gonna win, darn it. Slowly pull back. Okay. Crisis averted, I think. We're in there. Okay. The swirl is back. Oh my gosh, it's such a pretty image. Look at that. And I love it with the 2 colors in the leaf. Oh, so pretty. Okay. I'll stop obsessing and let's go on to the next nail. What do we want to do? Let's just go from left to right. Okay. This guy, I think I want to put some words on him. We'll stay with the original Manny that I did. Okay, so let's put our Pretty Daisy. I wonder if Pretty Daisy's gonna fit on here. Let's see. Let's try it. I'm gonna use the gold. All right. So this is super fine. So you definitely want to be right behind this with your stamper, picking it up immediately, especially if you don't want to have a bunch of voids and stuff. I hate having voids in my images. I don't like that. Okay, so can we fit this guy on here? Oh, I think so. I think that'll work. I'm gonna put down Pretty first. Keep moving so that I can lay down Daisy without having to relift. Perfect. Super cute. Okay. Now let's do I want to do a flower in there with him. Let's do this guy. And let's use the soft blue as our petal color. Number 76, Morning Dew. This guy right here. Make sure we're in frame. Scrape and lift. Let's put this guy right down here. That's super light. Let's go for one more coat. I like to do that sometimes when I feel like a color isn't as maybe vibrant as I want it to be. Oftentimes if you come and just do another, let's see if this does the trick. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. And I want to go with that same center color, the butternut squash. Now this guy also has more color. If you wanted to put some highlights or something into your flower, make some room here because I gotta follow this guy right away. You can lift the most delicate images if you do it the right way. Which just means you need to use possibly a new technique, something that you're not necessarily used to. If you learned how to stamp with a Konad stamper, for example, the technique is just different. It's just the opposite. And if you do it properly, oh, the fine stuff you can lift is just gorgeous. It's just endless. Okay, let's give that a little cleanup. Got some polish over there, so you don't want to leave that there because it can really affect the pickup if there's a bunch of dried polish in there. Of course, you're not going to get a perfect lift. Now, we're not going to need this whole thing, but did we get what we need? I feel like there's a void. Try and hold it over somewhere where you can see it. There we go. Yeah, that top right petal did not come up completely. So, okay, so we're cleaned up. Let's try this again. Dry it off. Make some room. Little polishes everywhere here. Now, we may have to thin our polish if it continues to fight, because oftentimes that'll be an issue. You're used to a polish lifting and suddenly it stops lifting. Yeah, look at that. Again, same thing. Okay, so let's thin this guy out a little bit, because that can often be your problem, is your polish has just gotten a little bit thick. Maybe it's the one you're using for outlines. You've got it open tons when you're stamping. And it'll just kind of stop working, which is really frustrating. Okay, so I've got my thinner, and I'm just gonna put in maybe 5 or 6 drops. Start small. Let's go 6. Don't want to put in too much. So I usually start with, I don't know, between 4 and 6, depending how much polish is involved. Give it a roll in your hands. Now, all of our new polishes, anything from 120 up, they now come with the mixing balls inside. Anything before that, if you have those polishes, they probably did not come with them, but that's okay. You can still pick up the mixing balls, pop a few in if you feel you need them, because it can help to mix things up a little easier. Okay, this consistency is looking pretty darn good, so let's see how we do. A complete image. That's what we're looking for. Okay. Take your time, line it up. Pretty close. Pretty close. Super cute. I like that. I love the blue with the gold. That is really pretty. All right, let's get a swirl going here. Up into the void up here. Let's use our berry slushy. Okay, Deb, you need to scrape better than that. Come on. Oftentimes you can get away with that, where you see that there's still kind of a pooling of polish. Because I like to just scrape once. Give it a firmer scrape and just go once. Because if you picture what's left behind once you scrape, it's such a small amount of polish that it starts drying, curing, if you will, immediately, as soon as you scrape that first time. So if you scrape 2 or 3 times, you're just making that lift a little trickier on yourself. There. Okay, now I'm going to come with the gold, and we're going to go over that one more time. Give it kind of a 3-dimensional look. Okay, number 51. This guy over here so I can scrape properly. Got away with it. Okay. Usually keep a cotton pad here to wipe my scraper on. Okay, so I'm gonna look at this little area right here. That's what I'm gonna use to line everything up. If I get those all pretty much lined up, then you know everything else is gonna fall into place. Now I want to kind of offset it just a little bit. Oh, so pretty. I love the orange and the blue. Orange and blue together are just such a neat combination. Okay, one more down. And let's go to this cool looking color here. I love that Passionate Peaches with the Uber Beach over top. Just a really neat color. Let's put a butterfly and a flower on this guy. Which flower do we want? So many to choose from. So many pretty ones on here. Let's go with this little guy right here. Kind of right in the center. There we go. Okay, and I love the blue on orange, so let's go blue. And this guy as well has that second layer for the flower if you want it. Just like this guy did down here. This is the same thing here to give you highlights or a different color petal, however you want to do that. Really light on that pickup, just roll over top. Basically just the weight of the stamper. Okay, now let's keep in mind, if we're gonna do a butterfly, the butterfly's sitting up here somewhere. So then let's do this guy kind of down a tiny bit. And that blue again. I'm gonna go again with that guy. Once we get that second coat on, it's the right color. I'm just too lazy to try a different color and see if it comes through more what I'm looking for. I'd rather just do this at this point. For the time it takes, I know it's the right color. Yeah, I like that. Matches really well to that offshore there with the Uber Beach over top. Okay, and we're gonna stay consistent with our butternut squash centers. And I'm gonna do the same thing and put leaves on, leaves, the leaves on after. A teeny tiny little yellow dot. All right, place there. Okay, now outline our newly thinned polish. Should be easy to lift in theory. Let's see. Yep, I'm happy with that. Just trying to get my lighting here so I can see. Give it a push. Not perfectly lined up, but what do we think? I like it. I like it. Okay, green olive. Oh, I think we better clean that off. Right in there. This one definitely needs to be thin too. Those little teeny tiny ones, those are lifting pretty well. And honestly, when you're going over top like this, if they don't lift perfectly, it's okay because you're trying to go over top. So sometimes less is more. So this is where I'm aiming for, right in here. I'm gonna try and line up that bottom one first. Get her a little bit of green in there. Okay, let's go butterfly now. This guy right up here. Okay, seriously. We're gonna use this butterfly right up here, and I'm gonna use our berry slushy. Keep our orange kind of consistent throughout all the nails. Keep the blue consistent. I like doing that to just tie everything together. So you probably saw there that there's still quite a bit pooling there, but lifted up nicely. Now, let's keep in mind here, the tail on this pretty little outline. We want to make sure we've got room for it. So I'm going to put this guy up quite high toward what would be your cuticle so that we've got room for his tails. His tails are much longer, the swirls, than his antenna would be. So let's keep that in mind when you're designing and planning and putting your images together, if you're doing a bunch of images on a nail. Leaving room for the next one. Okay. Our outline. That's an excessive amount of polish. Did not need all that polish, but here we are. Okay, all those details. I'm not going to worry about that line because it's not going to be on the mani. So, where is it? Oh, yes it is. Okay, that line there. There we go. So cute. Love those swirly tails, just so pretty. Okay, on to the next nail. Love the way this is coming together. I love the blue and the orange together. It's always been a favorite. I need to do it more often on my own nails. I have mine pretty neutral. Don't want to distract you when I'm doing a demo for you. Okay, let's use this guy. That's what we had planned on this blue nail. And I'm going to use, this is the background for this, and it's just kind of a abstract, doesn't have to line up perfectly kind of background, which is always kind of fun. So let's use our negligee. I'm just going to stay to the left because when I go to the nail, I want to be able to orient them, even though it doesn't matter where this one particularly goes. If you're doing a 2-layer full coverage where it does matter, then making sure that you're keeping track of the orientation is really important. That way you're not lost when you go with that second layer to try and figure out where it goes. These cute little dots. That'd be even cute just by itself. In a different mani, of course. Not in this one. More cotton. And we're gonna do this gold. Make sure it's clean. One more time. I don't love the pickup. A little bit of, I don't know, it just seems a little patchy on the side there. Maybe I'm just seeing things. Down the center, it looks pretty good. I just don't like this flower right here. So let's aim then to stay away from that particular spot. And then we don't have to lift again. If you don't need the whole image, then if there's a part of that image that didn't lift the way you would like, it doesn't really matter. Oh, that's so pretty. I love those swirlies with the little dragonflies hidden in there. Really pretty. Okay. Isn't that gorgeous? I love the way this is coming. One more. And I really want to do this great big daisy. Let's do this great big daisy on this guy in orange. Just over on the side, maybe. So they're very slushy again. Okay. Placement. Kind of comes in an S shape. So let's just go off to the one side. Do we want to do details? Let's do details. A little bit in there, but I bet you we can get away with it. I need to teach you guys how to get away with cheating a little bit. Yeah, got away with it. Just kind of scrubbed it in there a little bit. So I'm going to stay off to the side. Now, if you wanted to, you could have done this pink or kind of any color. But I really do love, though, the way that negligee goes over top of something like that and just creates like an instant tone on tone. They completely go together. Yeah, it's a nice little hack. Number 93. Okay. And our butternut squash again. And gentle roll over top. Once you master that gentle roll, that motion, we always used to say like a flick of the wrist, but it kind of is just this little rock over top of that image. It really does make lifting quite effortless. So you get comfortable with it, because it is a completely different technique. If you're an old school stamper like me, we used to go straight down onto the plate and then roll the image off onto the nail. And this technique is literally the complete opposite, where we're rolling very lightly off the plate and then pressing onto the nail. So literally the exact opposite. Oh, left a big streak there. Polish all over my cotton wipes. Okay, this guy, I'm gonna do those guys after too. Our little leaves. So pretty. Yeah, I love the two layers in the petals of the flowers. It's very pretty. Okay, give that a little scrub here. Pick up these leaves. Still using this green olive that I keep saying needs to be thinned. And there we go. Really pretty, multi-color petaled little flower. Any color you want. And there's our final look. Let's get this messy thing out from underneath here. Pretty daisy. Well, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being a member of the Plate of the Month Club. These videos we make for you, and they release to you first. I hope you do something super fun with these. Post them online, make sure you tag us so that we can see. And we will see you next month with more pretty plates from the Plate of the Month Club.